annex 1. Okay, annex 1 annex 1 is for prevention of pollution by oil. Okay, so oil can pollute the ocean. Okay, so mainly two places from where oil can be originated in ship. Okay, one is from engine room, and another is from cargo space. Okay, so cargo spaces is normally pump room or cargo pipes, right, and cargo tanks. Okay, so the regulation regarding the prevention of oil pollution or uh, from engine room is regulation number 15. Okay, this is for annex 1. Regulation number 15 is for engine room discharge criteria. Okay, criteria of oil from engine room. Okay, so if you want to discharge oil from engine room, there are certain criteria that you must follow as per regulation 15. Okay, and for cargo space, the regulation is regulation 34. Okay, so the difference between these two is only oil tankers has has to follow this regulation. Okay, rest all ship will have to follow regulation 15. Okay, so there are before I proceed with the regulation, there are one more thing I have to tell is oil record book. Okay, so there are oil record book after discharging operation or any operation relating to waste oil, that you have to mention it on this oil record book. So for engineering purpose, the oil record book is called oil record book part 1. Okay, so for this one, oil record book part 2. Okay, now we talk about the discharge criteria for engine room. Okay, so the first and foremost criteria is the vessel should be en route. Okay, en route means the vessel has to proceed from one port to another port, point A to point B. Okay, if you are moving in a particular direction and particular speed. Why I am saying particular direction and particular speed? If the ship is circling around like this in a one place, that doesn't count as en route. Okay, now in point number 2 is oil content of the effluent. Okay, effluent means the total quantity of the oil, okay, you are about to discharge. Okay, so that why I say oil content of the effluent means that oil, it is a waste oil. Okay, so it is having oil and water content also. So majority of that will be water, some of them will be oil. So it will combine together, dirty mix, we call it as effluent. Okay, so the oil content of the effluent. Okay, the oil content of the effluent does not exceed 15 ppm. Okay, now what is ppm? ppm means parts per million. Okay, so what does it mean is, so there is a device called oily water separator, OWS. Okay, so this oily water separator, if you pass this effluent through this oily water separator, it will separate oil and water separate, and separate oil and water. Okay, so majority of the oil from the effluent you can remove. Okay, and the water this water still have some kind of oil left. Okay, so this oil, okay, this oily water you are allowed to pump out. Okay, when you pump out, the percentage of oil in water, okay, should not exceed 15 ppm. That means if I take 1 million liters of this oil and water mix, okay, then uh, 15 part of that would be oil, rest remaining will be uh, water. Okay, so that is what. So when you are discharging, the oil content of the effluent, the oil and water mix, does not exceed 15 ppm. Okay, okay. Now, so the third part is oil mixture. Okay, oil mixture must pass through, okay, OWS, oily water separator. Okay, now the main thing, okay, the oil, this effluent cannot be originated from, okay, any of this cargo space. So if you are using if you are pumping out an engine room bilge water or effluent, if the chief officer comes and tell you, as a second engineer, I have little bit of oil from my cargo space, anyway you are pumping out, please pump out mine also. Never do that. Okay, that is against the regulation. Okay, so oil oil content or a mixture cannot be originated from cargo space. Okay, okay. This is Marpol Annex 1 Regulation 15. Now Marpol Annex 34. Okay, now Annex 34. Okay, Annex 34. Annex 34, when you discharge as per Annex 34, so there is certain things you should follow when you are discharging oil of cargo tanks. Okay, that is first of foremost things, vessel must be outside special area. Okay, so there are 10 special areas as per Marpol. Okay, like Mediterranean, Black Sea, Baltic Sea, Gulf of Aden, North Sea, south coast of South Africa, like that. There are 10 Mediterranean special area. Okay, so when you are discharging, if your ship is within the special area limits, okay, then you cannot do it. Okay, number 2 is instantaneous rate of discharge. Okay, so what is instantaneous rate of discharge? Okay, let me finish that sentence. Instantaneous rate of discharge do not exceed 30 liters per nautical mile. Okay, so that means when you're discharging, your ship will be en route. Okay, so you will be pumping out oil using ODMCs. Okay, so a lot of oil will be oily water mixture will be uh, coming out and coming on the sea. Okay, so this is a mixture of oil and water. Okay, so in 1 nautical mile, okay, say you have discharged 100 cubics of effluents. Okay, and in that 100 cubics of effluent, the uh, the total amount of oil content was 30 liter. Okay, that means in 1 nautical mile, you whatever effluent, whatever quantity, say if you are pumping out a mixture of 100 or 200 metric cubes, doesn't matter. The total quantity of oil that it is going outside the ship or going into the sea cannot exceed 30 liter. Okay, in 1 nautical mile distance you cannot exceed 30 liters. Okay, so you have to check the volume of effluent in your tank, and you have to measure the how much is the ppm. Okay, so according to that it will be calculated. Now okay, outside special area, instantaneous rate of discharge do not exceed 30 liters per mile, 30 liters per nautical mile. Okay, now it is obvious that vessel must be en route. Okay, now the third one is the total quantity of oil discharged, okay, into the sea does not exceed. Okay, so this is per nautical mile, you cannot exceed 30 liters. Okay, now you started the operation at 10 o'clock. Okay, you finished the operation at 1400. Okay, so operation start and stopped. Okay, the total quantity of oil discharged cannot exceed. Okay, that means that maybe 100 or 500 cubics of effluent you pumped out. Okay, in that cubics the total quantity of the oil, okay, you cannot exceed 1 by 30,000. Okay, 30,000 of the cargo carried. Okay, that what it means is, suppose your ship has carried 30,000 tons of oil. Okay, and you after discharging, and you tank washed everything, and you collected all the liquid in the slope tank. Okay, and you did a decanting and everything, and you want to pump out the effluent water. Okay, you want to reduce, you want to pump out the wastewater. Okay, so in that wastewater there will be some oil content, right? So that oil content cannot exceed 1 by 30,000 of the last cargo carried. So in our case we carried 30,000 tons of cargo. So if the oil content that we are discharging cannot exceed 1 ton. Okay, so 1 by 30,000 of the cargo carried. So the total quantity of particular cargo carried cannot exceed 1 ton. Okay, so there are, in olden days this regulation was little lenient. Okay, in that cases it was 1 by 50,000. Okay, so the ships which are earlier than 31st December 1979 uh, has to follow this one, and the ships after 31st December 1979 has to follow this rules. Okay, now so this is the uh, rule regulations regarding the oil in discharge criteria for oil in a special area from cargo space. Okay, so in outside special area is the only place you can discharge cargo oil. Okay, but inside not allowed. But in the case of machinery space. Okay, oil can be discharged in inside and outside special areas. Okay, okay, that's all. And that's all.